So she's back at it now, jetting around the world, campaigning against jets. And like I say, she's bringing 126 of her closest friends with her. And here's the list, just published by the United Nations, of all the registrations so far for this little get-together. If you can see there at the bottom right, 22,771 people, oh my God, are jetting to Poland to talk about using less energy. And as you can see a little bit further up there, 13,898 of these people are from the countries themselves. And then work with me down that right-hand column a bit. 6,046 of these people are from NGOs and lobby groups. And then almost at the bottom there, it says 1,541 media. Now, I'm not going to call them journalists because real journalists are not allowed in. Only those who comply with the UN agenda are. I know this because our own Sheila Gunn-Reid is going to Poland to cover this, but the UN refuses to accredit her. And they specifically said when rejecting her accreditation application, it's because McKenna's delegation blackballed her. Let me quote, declined due to complaints received about the organization from government delegates at COP22. They just come out and say it. Catherine McKenna complains, so she's banned. That's how it works with the UN. They know Sheila Gunn-Reid is a critic, so they keep her out. Of course, that's what China would do. Imagine what that says about the media who are allowed in. They must be so compliant. So 22,771 people are meeting in person in luxury hotels, 5-star living, limousines, the whole deal. I'm sure they'll have lots of advice for farmers on how to reduce their carbon footprint, though. But let's look through the list of delegates there. I showed you the whole list. Now, Canada has 126 people. Now, there's Catherine Ann Stewart, the chief negotiator. Do you see that? I'm not sure what we're negotiating. Do you? Do you know what we're negotiating? Apparently, we're ready to negotiate something. We're told that these UN treaties are non-binding. So why are we going there? What are we doing? What are we negotiating about? What are we going to get in return for what are we going to give up? Are these real negotiators? Like the kind Donald Trump used in the NAFTA renegotiations? Or in Donald Trump's negotiations with China? That would be pretty amazing if we even had negotiators like that. Or are they more Trudeau-style negotiators? Like the ones Trudeau used in his negotiations with Bombardier? I have a guess of what kind they are. Did you even know we were going to Poland to negotiate something? I honestly didn't know that. I didn't know there was a negotiation, but I guess we are. And look at this. I mentioned you had Catherine Stewart, the chief negotiator, and then just look through the list of delegates here. There's Miss Cristina Luisa Paradiso, the deputy chief negotiator, and then there's Mr. Elias Abarisk, who's with negotiation. He's a negotiations manager. Really, how big a negotiation team is this? Well, what's going on here? Well, we'll take a look. Mr. Gregoire Albert Baribeau, negotiator, mitigation policy analyst. Oh, and then there's Mr. Jeffrey Brower, negotiator, response measures. And then there's Miss Elizabeth Bush, negotiator, climate science. And then there's Miss Lydia Cavison, negotiator, climate finance. And then there's Miss Kimberly Chrétien, negotiator, adaptation. And then there's Miss Sherry Hain, negotiator, greenhouse gas inventories. And then there's Mr. Richard Lawrence Hegan, negotiator, Indigenous engagement. If you're counting, we're at 10 negotiators so far. Oh, I am not done. Okay, let me read quickly. I'm not going to read you all 126 names. I just want to show you what luxury living, 6-figure salaries, international travel, all for a make-up, fake cause, junk science looks like. In other words, this is what your carbon tax is going to pay for. All these extremely important people. They're going to talk about ways to wring more money out of your wallet, to talk more about wringing more ways to wring money out of your wallet. Here's Martin Lajoie. He's a negotiator. Markets, I don't even know what that means. Here's Mr. Adam Preban, negotiator, climate finance, economic advisor. I don't know what that means either. I wonder if he does. There's Miss Erin Beth Marshington, assistant manager, climate finance policy and negotiations. Miss Karen Simonson, negotiator, senior advisor, climate change, Canadian Forest Service. I'm not done yet, people. Mr. Patrick Spicer, negotiator, global stocktake, Talanoa dialogue. I know you don't know what that means. Mr. Stefan Wesch, negotiator, markets. That is 16 negotiators. That is more than we had negotiating NAFTA, which really is a thing. We've got 16 people flying to this UN conference to negotiate. Now, I've been in some negotiations in my life, nothing as big as a foreign treaty. But I don't know how you even have 16 people negotiating anything. How do you even have 16 people involved? And that doesn't include this woman, Miss Patricia Fuller, Ambassador for Climate Change. And of course, she has an assistant, Miss Joanna Defoe, advisor to the Ambassador for Climate Change. That's just the negotiations unit of just the federal government. That's an excerpt from my daily show, the Ezra Levant Show, weekdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Every day I do a monologue, interview a guest, and read my fan mail and my hate mail. To subscribe, go to therebel.media/shows.